Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone, and especially to Madam. And welcome to our group discussion. My name is Dini Hakim bin Muhammad Al-Rufizal, and together with my highly esteemed team members.
My name is Nur Aina bin Jamaluddin.
My name is Nur Ahza Ishira bin Ismail.
So today, we will be exploring task 1, focusing intensely on topic 1. Our discussion today revolves around a highly relevant, perhaps even urgent question in modern education, which is, what exactly are the roles of digital tools in enhancing language learning? Over the next 45 minutes, we aim to dissect, elaborate on, and firmly justify our viewpoints regarding how technology fundamentally rewrites the pedagogy of how we acquire a second or third language. To properly set the context before we dive in, I think it is crucial to define our terms. When we speak of digital tools in today's rapidly evolving educational landscape, we are looking entirely beyond the mere digitalization of traditional resources. We are not just talking about reading a PDF on a tablet instead of paperback. We are referring to advanced, highly interactive, and often adaptive modalities. These range from gamified vocabulary applications and synchronized multimedia resources to artificial intelligence speech recognition software, cloud-based ecosystem, and global collaborative learning platforms. From my perspective, if we look at the core of learning, a primary role of these digital tools is that they serve as a massive catalyst for student autonomy in a traditional way. Synchronized classroom environment learning, unfortunately, has to follow a uniform pace. The teacher teaches to the middle, which leaves advanced students bored and struggling students left behind. However, digital modalities entirely disrupt this. They facilitate a personalized, entirely self-paced learning environment where students can master complex grammar mechanic or even niche vocabulary according to their own unique cognitive learning process before moving forward. It removes the pressure of making mistakes in front of 30 other people. I love to bring my team members into this ecosystem now to see where we align. So, Aina, building directly on this specific idea of how technology fundamentally shifts the classroom dynamic from the teacher-centered to student-centered, what are your thoughts on the specific roles of digital tools play in actually keeping that autonomous learner engaged?
Thank you for the question, Daniel. Moving on to our second major of focus, let us look at the role of digital tools in boosting student engagement through gamification and multimedia resource. Let us be completely honest about the reality of language learning. To master any new language, heavy repetition is absolutely necessary. We have to memorize massive vocabulary list, practice difficult sentence structure, and repeat grammar over and over again. In a traditional classroom setting, this usually translates to doing endless paper of worksheets or repeating sentences directly after the teacher. Unfortunately, this repetitive process can quickly become tedious and boring for students. When learners get bored, their mind wanders. Passive learning takes over and they stop retaining information altogether. This is exactly where digital tools take a step to transform the classroom dynamics. by integrating their gamified elements such as points, daily streaks, badges, and interactive live quizzes through platforms like Kahoot or Quizzes. We change passive listening into active participation. Instead of just staring quietly at whiteboard, students are now excited to think fast, compete friendly with their peers, and interact in the lesson. From a psychological standpoint, these small gamified elements have a massive impact because they offer instant feedback. As we know, in a traditional class, the student writes an essay and they have to wait for days to get their grade. This makes they lose their excitement late. But with the language application or a live quiz, they know instantly if their answer is right or wrong. If it is correct, they earn points and they see their name move up a leaderboard, which trigger positive feedback in the brain. Even if they get an answer wrong, the digital tools does not punish them with a discouraging grade mark. It simply encourage them by trying again to protect their daily streak. This makes the entire language acquisition process much less intimidating. Students now are no longer afraid of making mistakes because the environment feels like safe, playful game rather than a stressful examination.
Excellent, very good and detailed argument for you. So, Azhar, is there any major topic that you want to bring forward in our discussion?
Thank you very much, Aina. There was a highly detailed explanation regarding how digital tools increase student motivation through gamification and multimedia resources. It's very clear from your argument that keeping students interested is a major part of language education. Now, let us advance our discussion to the third major area of focus from our study guide, which is real-world immersion. Let us be completely honest about the traditional reality of learning a second language. In the past, if a student wants to master a foreign language with a native accent, proper reading, and true conversational fluency, it required a heavy financial investment. You either had to travel abroad, participate in expensive student exchange program, or live in a country where the target language is spoken natively. For the vast majority of regular students, this was simply an unattainable luxury. In a traditional classroom setting, this financial and geographical limitation usually translate to learning a language in complete isolation. Students are restricted to reading formal textbook passage or listening to scripted audio track that do not actually accurately represent how the language is actually used out there in daily society. They learn the abstract rule of grammar. They memorize vocabulary in a vacuum, but they never truly experience the living language. They are trapped inside a classroom bubble where the language faded. This is exactly where the digital tools step in to completely transform the learning environment by providing endless authentic language input through native digital material technology effectively bring the target language directly into the student personal space, turning their private room into a global classroom. Instead of just studying grammar formulas on a whiteboard, Students can easily access international news broadcasts, language-focused podcasts, and global media and discussion forum in real time. They can observe and internalize the natural flow of the language, complete with idioms, moderns, and real-world accents. This continuous exposure beautifully breaks the gap between passive textbooks, knowing, and active real-world understanding. It shifts the entire focus of language learning from a theoretical academic exercise into a practice real-life experience.
Fantastic, Hamza. You have excellently pinpointed how digital tools transform the life language experience. For Aina, I see your exact point, and frankly, it is a crucial distinction we absolutely cannot afford to overlook. You hit the nail on the head regarding the caveat of gamification. If a specific digital tool focuses entirely too much on accumulating points, flashing badge, and climbing leaderboards rather than providing actual linguistic context, the learning is guaranteed to remain entirely shallow. We run risk of students learning how to read the game rather than actually learning the language. However, if we contextualize it properly, which means if digital tool is utilized as a strategically integrated supplementary tool alongside traditional teaching methodologies, it can act as an incredibly powerful tool. Digital tool can get students into the cognitive state of flow and gets them interested in the first place, which is half the battle won. Gamification is the appetizer, not the main course, and this thought process actually brings us incredibly smoothly into another major dimension of what digital tools can offer, which goes far beyond just engagement and touches upon providing authentic real-world immersion without ever leaving the classroom. Let's dive a bit deeper into that specific pillar. So, Aina, is there any way to make this gamified learning to be more progressive and competitive?
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Earlier, I have said that the use of digital tools in gamification learning session. But what happens when we combine this gamified system with multimedia resources? The impact on students differs significantly because digital tools go far beyond just display text on the screen. They bring in rich videos, authentic audio tracks, native podcasts, and also interactive simulations. This multi-sensory approach is a massive advantage because it directly caters to diverse learning styles within a single classroom. As educators, we know that students absorb information differently. Each of them have a different single style to learn. First, we have a visual learner who need to see things to understand them. Multimedia tools actually allow them to watch videos with clear subtitles, view helpful word association images, and also look at colorful digital maps. Secondly, we also have auditory learners who learn best by listening. Digital tools allow them to listen to native speaker via podcast, slow down to play by speed to catch tricky spacing movements, and sing along to catchy language songs. And finally, we have kinesthetic learners who learn by doing. They can physically drag and drop words on an interactive screen, click through situational simulations, and participate in digital role-play games. And when the teacher incorporates these diverse media tools, information retention improves significantly. Students are no longer just memorizing from a dry word from the textbook. They are seeing it, hearing it, and interacting with it all at once. This locks the vocabulary into their mind, into their long-term memory much faster.
Oh, I see. Now I understand your whole perspective on that. However, Azhar, do you want to deep dive about how digital tools can help in global immersion?
Thank you, Daniel. Digital tools can help in global immersion by utilizing modern language exchange apps and global platforms. Students are no longer practicing language which is their immediate classmate. Instead, they can work together on joint international digital projects, exchange video diaries, or engage in text and voice chat with real people from completely different culture. This changed their dynamic of language learning from a lonely classroom or into exciting borderless social experience. It gives the students a genuine practical reason to communicate because they are using the language to build a real relationship. Alongside this, another major advancement in modern educational technology that we must highlight is the rise of AI speech recognition software. This technology acts like on-demand private speaking tool. From a psychologist standpoint, AI speech tools have a massive impact because they offer a completely low-stake environment for active practice. As a future educator, we know that standard speech exercise can be terrifying for language learner. Standing up and speaking in front of a whole class causes extreme anxiety, which triggers an emotional barrier, a high effective filter that actually blocks the brain from acquiring language effectively. But with an AI tool, students can practice their pronunciation, reading, and speak privately. The digital tools does not judge them or laugh at their essence. It simply allows them to review their error and try again until they sound clear. This private process of continuous self-correction completely remove the fear barrier, building their confidence before they step into the real world.
Good. I completely agree with your creative Azhar, and it is a very pragmatic way to look at the situation. The digital divide is a stark reality, and it all comes down to the necessity of a blended learning approach. We must remember that digital tools, no matter how advanced the artificial intelligence becomes, should never be designed to entirely replace human interaction. The true goal is to powerfully augment it. If we rely solely on technology, as you mentioned, hardware limitation or poor internet connectivity can completely demoralize a student whose accent is not being picked up by a low-budget microphone. Therefore, a modern educator can utilize global media to introduce a rich cultural context, or even perhaps assign AI tools for private, low-stakes individual speaking practice at home. Then they bring the class together in their physical place for dynamic face-to-face debates. This flipped classroom model ensures that we aggressively maximize the immersive, highly engaging roles of technology while simultaneously mitigating the digital divide, digital divide and maintaining that irreplaceable human empathy in the learning process. So Aina, can you explain how can we understand the true value of this pillar?
So, in my opinion, to see the true value of this pillar, we have to look at how modern classrooms are moving now, away from passive consumption and moving toward the active creation. The major trend that we are seeing in creative language education right now is using digital tools to let students create their own media projects. Instead of just watching an educational video or playing an online quiz, teachers are assigning tasks where students use free design platform like Canva to create their own digital storybook in the target language. Or they might use simple voice recording apps to create a short 19 minutes mini podcast and where they can interview a classmate about their weekend or their daily life. Think about the intense language skill required to complete project like that. Even to make a simple podcast, a student has to write a basic script, check their own grammar, practice their pronunciation multiple times so they can sound clear, and then they can record the audio. The digital tool acts as an incredibly engaging workspace because students know that they are creating a real product that their peers might see or hear. So they put much more effort into getting the language right. It gives their schoolwork a genuine real-world purpose. Furthermore, this method completely removes the fear barrier. As you can see, standard classroom presentation can be terrifying for a language learner. Standing up in front of 30 people when you are still struggling with vocabulary causes extreme anxiety, which actually blocks the brain from processing language effectively. But with the digital media creation, students now can record their audio or edit their video privately. If they make a mistake in their pronunciation, they can simply hit delete and re-record it until it sounds perfect. This private process of self-correction is where the real learning happens. By the time they share their product digitals with the class, they will feel proud and confident, not anxious.
Thank you, Aina. I can imagine your example in the classroom. But since we are in IPG, Azza, can you bring forward some example of how digital tools can help in learning new language in our institution?
Thank you, Daniel. So at this point, we can look at a concrete example based on our immediate context as student teachers undergoing our training in LPG. Imagine we assign our future school student an oral presentation task or a short video documentary project. Usually, in a traditional setup, this type of task causes high level of stress, where students worry about sounding awkward or making public mistake. However, by leveraging these digital tools, the pedagogical process changes entirely. The students can practice speaking and testing their script delivery with an AI speech tool first to evaluate their fluency in a safe and a private space. Once they build their confidence and master the correct pronunciation in that private digital environment, they can seamlessly transition to public platform. They can upload their final work onto interactive spaces like Google Site, create digital platform, or comfortably participate in cross-cultural online discussion with international peers. So we must realize that language learning is not just about memorizing vocabulary lists or passing a writing examination. The true ultimate goal of language education is communicative competence, the ability to use language appropriately, naturally, and effectively in real life. Digital immersion allows students to test their theoretical knowledge in practical and life scenarios. Now that we have comprehensively analyzed all three pillars from our guide, let us move into the cross-examination phase to look at the realistic challenge of this tool. So Daniel, from your perspective as our moderator, what are the primary considerations or roadblocks we must out for?
Wow, that is an exception. That is an exceptionally sophisticated way to put it, Azhar. And I want to highlight that moving from a lecturer to a facilitator or even a curator of digital experience completely redefine the educational hierarchy. The teacher is no longer the sole dispenser of knowledge at the front of the room. Rather, they are the expert guide helping students navigate this massive sea of digital input. It proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that digital tools are here to vastly enhance the educational ecosystem rather than making the human element obsolete.
May I add something in the discussion? Okay, so however, to ensure a completely honest and balanced viewpoint, I also must highlight the potential limitation of relying too heavily on gamification and multimedia. We must ask the critical question that is, can technology really become a shallow distraction? So the answer is yes. If it's not, manage carefully. If a teacher uses apps like Duolingo or Kahoot constantly without a clear learning framework, the education can become superficial. Students might become master game players who know exactly how to click and serve fast to win points, but they might fail to understand the deeper grammatical structures or contextual meanings behind those answers. They become motivated by the points, not the language. Therefore, the true role of gamification and multimedia is to act as a powerful hook or a supplementary asset, not the entire lesson. The teacher should use a quick, exciting game at the start of the lesson to review past vocabulary and wake up the class. But then, they must transition into deep teaching, explaining real-world context, reading longer text, and having meaningful conversation. So, in conclusion, I think gamification and multimedia are revolutionary for boosting engagement, improving retention, and reducing student anxiety. Their success ultimately depends on strategic pedagogical design by the teacher itself.
Very brilliant opinion from Aina. Since I have given Aina a chance to speak more about the topic. So, Hamza, is there anything you want to bring forward in our discussion?
I completely agree and support both of your point, Daniel and Aina. the critical issue you highlight regarding internet instability, the digital divide in rural area, and the psychology risk of superficial learning, where the student only focus on chasing point and daily street rather than understanding the context, which is a serious educational problem that we cannot ignore as future teacher. If left unmanaged, technology can turn language acquisition into a shallow game or leave underprivileged students behind, widening the educational gap. However, as a professional educator, we must accept reality that digital technology is a permanent, inseparable part of modern life, and simply avoiding it or running away from is not a progressive solution for 21st century education. Therefore, the definitive solution to overcome this challenge is to implement a well-structured blended learning approach. Blended learning means we must intentionally and strategically balance human face-to-face classroom interaction with the purposeful use of digital tools. Technology should only serve to complement our pedagogy, never to replace the irreplaceable role of human teacher. Because of this, the teacher roles must undergo a dramatic paradigm shift. The educator needs to step away from being a traditional lecturer who barely unload raw information and instead become a facilitator who actively guide, structure and curate the digital experience. As facilitator, is it our duty to design lesson where online activities are balanced with serious offline tasks such as formal easy writing, critical reflection and face-to-face discussion.
Thank you, Azhar. Since we have here so much threads of benefit, so I would be immensely glad to tie all these threads together for us. To conclude our comprehensive discussion on task 1 today, we have truly evaluated three pivotal, deeply interconnected roles that digital tools play in actively enhancing modern language learning. First, we established that they democratize education by actively fostering learner autonomy, stripping away classroom anxieties, and allowing for hyper-personalized, self-paced tracking. Second, we noted that they completely optimize student engagement through gamified dynamics and interactive multimedia, transforming passive absorption into active participation. And finally, we explore how they heavily accelerate fluency by providing low-stakes, highly immersive, real-world communication opportunities that transcends geographical borders. While we have rightly acknowledged the very real challenge regarding infrastructure limitation, hardware accessibility, and the absolute necessity of maintaining deep or shallow learning, we firmly justify our stance. When we curated carefully and implemented strategically within a blended learning framework, digital tools are not just optional add-ons. They are entirely indispensable assets to modern language acquisition. Thank you, Aina and Azhar, for your highly nuanced and valuable contributions today. And thank you to our assessor for your time and attention. This officially concludes our group discussion.